Hey guys, welcome back to the Snapper Chronicles. We're coming back at you today with another Ratchet video. Okay, I think more recently I've been doing a lot more like collectors or classic Ratchets, older stuff. I gotta jump into a more utilitarian stuff because I have like a backlog of Ratchets that are more utilitarian in nature and not classic or US made. This is something I think most likely comes from Taiwan. But before we jump into all that, if you can do me a favor and click the like button and also subscribe to my channel if you find ratchets or any of these tools at all interesting or thought-provoking. But anyhow, and also if you want to find a particular ratchet, go to my channel and go to my playlist, and there they'll be listed in order of manufacturer, which is a lot easier than for you to just go and try to navigate 350 videos to try to find a particular ratchet. Okay, this one we got today is Power Torque. And Power Torque is a brand, I believe, from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Do we have any O'Reillys over here? We have a few. It's not that big over by where I live. Over here there's a lot of AutoZones. There's like AutoZones all over the place, but O'Reilly not so much. But they do have a brand just like AutoZone. They have the Duralast brand, and here at O'Reilly's they have the Power Torque brand. So this is a GM6004 quarter-inch ratchet, and these are very similar to other ratchets of this type that go through, probably made in the same factory by the same manufacturer, but branded by different names for different retail outlets. And here's a Pittsburgh ratchet that's very similar to this one. It has minor cosmetic differences. This head is a little bit longer. This one's cuts off a little bit sooner. This one has like a recessed area an enclosed recessed area for the switch. This one has a recess, but it's more open. You see there's no closure on this side. But the handles look almost identical, and the quality is pretty much identical to if you would buy a Pittsburgh Pro ratchet like that one. Not sure what's going on in Harbor Freight nowadays, because I did notice a little while ago that the made in Taiwan ratchets like this and that one, some of them are starting to be made in China, and I did notice that the quality wasn't as good as the Taiwanese ones of the same tool made in Taiwan and made in China. The China one was not as good, and I have those tools from Taiwan from a couple of years ago, and the ones that I see now on the rack at Harbor Freight just are not as good quality as those Taiwanese ones from a year or two ago. So be aware of that. But let's take a look at this. It doesn't have the country of origin on this, but like I said, I'm pretty sure that this is a Taiwan product. It's quick release. It has the pin that sticks out when you depress the button up here. The button's made of metal, and pretty much the whole thing's made of metal. There's no plastic parts on this ratchet, and here's the ball detent, and it looks very well centered, which is pretty good. And let's open it up, and you're gonna need a Torx 8, number 8 for this for these Torx screws. And I don't know why they don't just make all of them 10s, because a Torx 10 is very popular and you see it everywhere and you find it in every like little cheap set, but Torx 8s usually not as much. You might find a Torx 15 or Torx 10, Torx 15, something like that, but you don't always find Torx 8s. And this is what the screws look like. They do have a little Loctite on the threads up there, and this is what the heads look like. Over here you pull out the anvil and the plate comes out. This is a plate, typical plate for these ratchets. This is about the thickness of all of them. This is how thick the plates are usually for, like I said, all Taiwanese ratchets that have a screwed in plate. And here the gear has a little washer, and the washer looks like it's wavy. I think it comes like that from the factory. Here's the gear. This is 72 teeth. I don't think that this ratchet was used at all. I didn't buy this brand new. Excuse me. I bought this used, but it looks like the previous owner did not use this ratchet. But the teeth look pretty good. I don't see any. They look very uniform. I don't see any bad teeth or anything like that. And here are the pawls. This is the classic 2-paw design that we've seen for maybe 90 years. It's been a long and proven design. You can find ratchets from the 30s, I think 30s on, that have this design. I think Plum Proto were I don't know, I'm not sure if they were the originator of this sort of design, but they really made a lot of ratchets with this sort of dual paw mechanism. And here are the parts. I guess I'll just leave this one paw in just to save a little bit of time. But here's the paw, and this is a 5-tooth paw, and no wear on it. There's a little bit of something, dirt or whatever, a little pitting, but no wear on this paw. And the letter L, I guess, for left, and this one has the letter R for right, I guess. If you're looking at them this way, that one would be right and this one would be left. Okay, on the bottom there's a little protrusion that sticks through that little hole at the bottom where it pivots. That hole there, you see it? This one doesn't have that. This Pittsburgh, it doesn't have those holes for, it's the same mechanism, 2 paws swinging back and forth, but doesn't have the holes to stabilize like this one. So that's, I guess, one of the differences there. And here's the little spring that, as you see, puts tension on the paws. And the switch is a little bell-shaped piece of metal that's been peened over and connected to another small piece of metal that's looks like a stamping that that makes up the switching mechanism. So if you wanted to take this really apart, you would have to unpeen this part and take the switch off, and then take the little pendulum bell shaped switch part there out. But we're not going to do all that because that would take too much time and it's unnecessary. And to put this all back together, you would just get your pawls and put them back in the slots, and then you would push one pawl down with the switch like that, and this one, it gives you room so you can take your small spring and oh, come on. Yeah, take your small spring and get it in there, and it's not cooperating. Okay, now you want to probably pull it down a little bit. Like that. Now you can push that one down and get your gear in like that. Okay, so you should be looking something like that, and you take your washer and put that around the anvil, and your plate. Put your plate on and hold it down with your finger and get your screws in. And you tighten that down. I wouldn't suggest you go too tight on these because they're small, very small threads, and we don't know how good these screws are, so they might strip out real easy. So you just want to do finger tight, and if you want to get it snug where they won't back out on you, you might want to put some thread lock on these screw tips. But yeah, that's it. You switch it, see if it's switching. Yep, it's switching. So yeah, there's the teardown of the power torque. This one we said was the GM6004 quarter-inch drive ratchet. Decent quality. I know a quarter-inch, you're not going to put a lot of torque on it, hopefully. So these are pretty neat little ratchets. They have the 72 teeth, which is cool, you know, for getting in tight spots and stuff. So yeah, quality, price, yeah, these are pretty decent little ratchets. Alright guys, until next time.